Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Art is Alive interview. I'm Chris Atertua, and today I'm joined by Jacob Smith, fellow UCF student. He is on his path to becoming an awesome filmmaker. He specializes in theater, music, and I'm just really excited to chat with him because I've seen his work online and it's fucking baller. And so, Jacob, how are you?
I'm doing good. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm excited to be here. I love your stuff. I love your interviews that you're doing. Art is alive, baby.
But I'm like more excited than usual because you work in production, so I can talk to you about cameras and stuff now.
Yes.
And music, which I was recently informed that you that's like your like main thing. So Jacob, can you give us a little bit of your background and how you got started in the world of production, theater, and music?
I think I've always been interested in movies. Like I always was drawn to the actors and to the stories and specifically the scores too. I think that's kind of where my spark for music came from. So like Pirates of the Caribbean, I love those movies.
Which song?
My favorite one is the third one. At World's End. That is like a masterpiece.
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes says 46%. I think they're crazy.
Guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure, shameless pleasure, like that. I love that movie. But I loved Davy Jones. And I think that kind of sparked music, acting, film all in one because I would go around the house impersonating him. And like, I don't know, that was just kind of a funny thing. But then I would play the music on my piano, no sheet music, like it was just all by ear. And I think that's when my parents were like, okay, we need to like push him towards that, which I'm very grateful for. But that's kind of where it began.
Dude, that's nuts. I have such respect for people that can play music by ear because I don't really play an instrument all that well. I only kind of play guitar, but to do piano and all that is fucking crazy.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's like I can't necessarily play well, but I can play like a little theme. And kind of replicate that there. But
so that started your, I guess we'll consider that like the music aspect of it.
Yes.
But when did you start performing in theater?
Yes. So I started performing in high school. My friends, or my brother specifically, he had just started doing it kind of out of the blue with some friends of his that were in it. And I was like, man, I want to do that too. Like I think I saw his first performance on my birthday. And that was such like a core memory just because like, I don't know. It was just nice to see him shine up there. And I was like, I want to be part of that world too. So the next year I went for it and it was very cool because it was all my close friends just kind of all together. Like we were doing Beauty and the Beast. It was so cool. Like my brother was Gaston. I was Lumiere. One of my good friends was LeFou and like the Beast. Like we were all just like kind of there doing it. It was very cool.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like such a fun time.
Yeah.
And then last but certainly not least, how you got into the world of cameras and production.
Yes, how did I do that actually? I think I always wanted to write like a zombie apocalypse type show.
Side note, I used to like look up like zombie like apocalypse kits on like Amazon, and I would just get so fascinated by like the little crates of like food and like they give you like a little like hatchet.
Yeah.
But anyway, continue.
That's actually awesome. I love that. I don't know. There's just something about that I always wanted to do. I never did. Well, I tried to, but it was ass.
Not yet.
Not yet. That's right. We're growing. We're gonna get there. But that kind of sparked it, and then a couple of my friends and I just made this weird, random like YouTube series called Moon Day. And it was just like one of those things that you do. Oh, your friends are just kind of shooting with a camera, making a story. I wrote the music for it too. And like I acted in it and everything came together there. And I think that's when I was like, man, I could do this. I would do this for sure.
So the magical question, out of the three, what do you say you lean most towards in a professional setting? Like something you see yourself pursuing professionally as a career?
That is very tough because I just love all of it. I do music the most. I think when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I need to do something musically for like today. If I don't, I failed. But I also do that on YouTube. That's also something I don't know how I didn't talk about that yet, but I have like not a big following on YouTube, but I have 5,000 subscribers on there,
That's pretty
which
good.
is insane.
Dude.
Yeah, I am like shocked by that every day. But I like make stuff for that. I'm trying to do weekly. That's kind of impossible, but
Yeah.
uh,
Well, never say never.
that's true. That's true. You're right. I gotta believe in that. But I feel like that's not like it's weird because I feel like that is me like fully, but I don't bring that into like my day-to-day stuff. That's just kind of a side like, okay, I have this here, I can do it. But I think professionally, career-wise, it would probably be film. So yeah, I don't know. It's all so tough. It's so tough.
Okay. So with all of this, can you talk me through a little bit of your creative process when you're working on, say, a film project or something you just shot with your buddies?
Yeah. Okay. So creative process for film. Basically, what it used to be, I guess, is when we're just kind of having fun. I remember when we came up with Moon Day, literally, my friend Carl, he asked Siri, he was like, what are the national holidays today? It was National Lollipop Day
Let's go.
and National Moon Day. So he was like, Moon Day sounds kind of cool. We could do some like sci-fi like type thing. So we just made this like funny, like, oh, we have to make sacrifice to the moon or because it's gone and we need to bring it back. It was ridiculous, but it was so much fun. So there's that kind of way where you just kind of do it without any story, like really prior. But then of course there's the more like traditional, like write your script, get the storyboards going,
Right.
Talk it out with your creative team, and then get your cast, get your crew, get your stuff going, and then yeah.
And do you have any software recommendations for those that maybe want to start out, transitioning from, okay, so I have all this footage. Do you use Premiere? Do you use DaVinci? What do you lean most towards?
So I am a DaVinci user for sure.
Okay.
Not that, to be honest, if I was to recommend to like anyone starting, I would say Premiere. Start with Premiere because that's the standard nowadays. I feel like for big films.
That's what I've been taught. Is Premiere's the way to go in a professional setting.
Yeah.
Not that DaVinci's unprofessional,
Yes.
but DaVinci I felt leans more towards like color correcting.
Correct.
Yeah, and Premiere's kind of just like it has all the tools that you need to be successful.
Excuse me. Yeah, exactly. I agree. Like if I could go back and be like, hey, you should start Premiere. I'm grateful. Like DaVinci's been good. Like I wouldn't say you can't use it because I haven't really had limitations while using it.
Mm-hmm.
But since Premiere is so like
it's universal. It's like
exactly
the iPhone of the editing world, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, that's a perfect way to say it because like you got Audition, which you can just like transfer easily between.
Oh, I love Audition.
Yeah, I've been meaning to like. I even took sound design classes teaching me about it, and I still feel like I kind of didn't take advantage of that. But
I can show you.
I appreciate it.
So, what's one piece of advice you wish someone gave you when you first started this whole theater, film, musical journey?
I think it's a mixture between just go after it, You know what you want. Deep down, you know exactly what you want. And you should always go for that. That's kind of one thing. And then I think this kind of goes towards like how my process with music has been. But I would get like really bad writer's block. Like I would just sit down and kind of like you have to just like you want to write something but you just can't. But honestly, in reality, what I've learned is like you can't force it. If you're sitting down and you realize like this is not going anywhere, just step away for a second.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, do you just take like a week or just however long it takes? Like how long is too long to step away from writer's block?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think a week at most. I think a week might almost be too long too. But honestly, it's also like, okay, I found the advice.
Okay, yeah.
There's beauty in simplicity. Like, I feel like one of the struggles I had with music is that I tried to be different. And like, not that that's a bad thing, but like trying to be different limited me into like almost not being like, I feel like keeping it simple and just doing what you're feeling, despite whether it might be like, oh, that's basic, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I think as long as you're being true to yourself and what your art is, like that's all that matters.
I think that's 4 for 4 on each of my guests saying be you, and oh, that's a bad thing or anything.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like that's such a theme in the creative world, is just be true to who you are and stop, catering to what the masses are thinking
Exactly.
about all your shit. Just go out and fucking do.
Yeah, and what I've kind of noticed with that too is that like I feel like that's kind of how the art goes. Like you start out. When I first started out, I was just kind of putting it out, and I felt like my best work came at the beginning because I wasn't thinking about, oh, this is too similar to things. It was like, oh, this is just me. This is me right here. And then you get to the point where you're like, okay, I've been doing this for a while. I picked it up. Let's try to change it up, which is good to change it up, but it's not good if you're not being true. So then you kind of go back to like, okay, let's just go back to the basics. And I think that's when you kind of really thrive. So
Yeah.
yeah.
For sure. So with the amount of videographers and editors and people that make music, do you think art is in a good place right now in Central Florida?
In Central Florida, yes, I would say for sure. I think there's been so many people that I've met that are just so, I don't know, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful seeing how many people are just going after what they want to do and all the different skill sets that everybody has. So yeah, I would I would say for sure, like, yeah, everyone, we're in a good spot here at UCF. So
With that being said, what would you say is your specific message you want to convey to the world with your art?
ooh, it's tough because I have such a wide range because some of my stuff is just ridiculous. Like I actually don't know if you've heard any of my music, but and then some of it's very
Yeah, I've heard it.
And you've
I
heard
have, yes. I fucking have.
That's awesome. Holy shit. But some people are like, wow, that's I remember, oh, this is actually perfect. My manager at Volcano Bay came up to me. He was like, Jacob, I heard your song, Anya. And he was like, yeah, man, that was really weird. He was like, he said, yeah, that was really weird. You're very talented, but man, that was weird.
But he's talking about it.
Yes, he's talking about it. And it was just funny because like I could tell he enjoyed it because he was like, yeah, that was weird. But I appreciate that he also was like, yeah, you're talented. But
And is it even like an insult to be like called weird these days? I'd
I don't
love
think
to
so.
be called weird.
Yeah, I think it's better to be called weird than to be like, oh, you're just another guy in the world. I don't know. So be weird. Be weird.
Do you have any gear recommendation for those that maybe want to start, branching out into film?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say a good camera to start with. I started with the A6100. Fairly cheap camera amongst like camera prices.
The fucking FX3 and
yeah.
the Sony A1 we were just talking about?
Yeah, for real. I think that's like a $800 camera.
Yeah.
And for $800, that's a pretty solid camera.
And there's a lens on Amazon, which I'm actually using for this camera right here.
Oh, yeah.
It's the 1450. But I think it's like $120.
Oh yeah.
Which is
that's damn
much
good.
cheaper than all the stuff you're going to see out in the market.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
lens recommendation 1450, 1650 I think is what
1650.
1650.
Yes, nice. Actually, I think I actually might have the same lens.
What?
Well, it's 1655. Or no, it is 1650. I'm sorry.
What does that say?
You're right. This actually, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
This is
1650.
the exact same.
Yeah.
That's the exact same lens. And I think there's actually a way to buy them together because I think I got it.
Yeah, there's Amazon has all these deals.
Yeah, they always do.
Okay,
like that.
yeah.
Okay, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
I think the 6400 is fairly similar to
Yeah.
this.
I'm using the 6400.
Yeah. So those are two quality starter cameras, I would say.
Yeah, they should.
I used it for 3 years.
4K.
So,
Yeah. That's my workhorse.
yeah.
Do you have a dream camera? Because we were talking prior. I said the Sony A1, which is, for those that don't know, that's $6,500. So we're building to get there.
Yes. You know what? You're gonna get there though. You're setting the goal. You're making it happen. You're doing all these things. So you're gonna get there. My dream camera is the FX3 for sure.
That thing's a beast.
That's a beast. That's what
Shout
my
out to
brother has.
Radit.
My brother has that one, so I can have a piece of it, I guess, if I need to. But yeah, it's such a I think that camera, because I like the film recently, The Creator was just shot on that.
Yeah.
So I think that's, if you're like doing photography, film, like that's the camera. You could use that for
Oh my
ever.
gosh. Yes.
So
So we have the Sony A6100, the Sony A6400, dream cameras being Sony A1 and FX3. Oh my gosh, lot of gear out there.
Yeah, man. It's just do the art, you know. Art is alive.
Art is alive.
Art is alive.
Love this guy.
Yeah,
So Jacob, where can people find you should they want to reach out?
they can find me in their hearts. No, they can find me, well, right now in Orlando, Florida.
You mentioned you have a YouTube channel.
Oh, I do have a YouTube channel under JSCO. That's kind of what all my accounts are under, JSCO. You'll find me on YouTube. That is my like more serious music. And then if you look that up on Spotify, it's the complete opposite. That is more comedic and a few serious ones in the mix there. But yeah.
And JSCO, the Instagram handle, is there a number at the end?
Yes, JSCO23 is my personal account. JSCO FM is my like film music account. So yeah.
Awesome, dude. I love this conversation because
man.
It encapsulated everything that I'm passionate about. So
I'm glad.
Thank you so much for your time, dude.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you for your time. Thank you for doing this and sharing all our stories. I think that's the importance of storytelling, you know? So
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for another, you know the name of the shit. See you next time, guys.